A Wisconsin astronaut has been waking up in space for the past week. Jeff Williams is from the small town of Winter in Sawyer County. He and two Russians will spend the next 6 months in space, and that's a new record. Because of this, the hometown star, many here back on Earth, are dreaming to new heights of what's possible. Rocket scientist and leader with Spaceport Sheboygan, Brian Ewenson, joins us live in studio to share what it takes to be an astronaut. You know, you also worked with a Canadian space agency, also with NASA, training astronauts with use of equipment. You have never met that astronaut in particular, but you know, what does it take to spend 534 days in space with your body?
Well, the one thing with Jeff Williams, coming from Winter, Wisconsin, population 300, he credits living on the extreme edge of the environment as giving him the skill set to be able to live and work in space for that amount of time. This is his third long duration flight, and even though Scott Kelly broke the record for all Americans in space, our Wisconsin astronaut will actually break that record during this flight.
Tell me what it does to your body when you're in space for that long period of a time.
In space for that amount of time, it's significant damage to your body. Astronauts have about a 2.5% higher cancer rate. We'll lose 19% of our bone density. It's advanced osteoporosis after 6 months in space. 25% of our muscle mass. Our kidneys begin to stop functioning. We have an inability to control our blood pressure. Mind you, sitting on top of a 4 million pound bomb, we tend to give the astronauts a pass on that.
Right, exactly. You know, there's a lot of things that you have to do up in space to keep yourself alive, and you teach a lot of children and people who come to Spaceport Sheboygan. A lot of this is very expensive. You're telling me the typical thing is about $500, so we're not going to eat this.
Absolutely.
But this is typically what your meal would be.
This is typically what an astronaut meal would be. The astronauts will have, here on Earth we expend a tremendous amount of energy, but being in microgravity you don't need as much energy in space because all you need to move is your fingertip to get around.
What is this?
This here is a sample or selection of astronaut food. We have sour chicken, we have Italian vegetables, as well as potatoes with cheese, and you have to have your coffee in the morning, bright and early. The food is thermostabilized, irradiated, and freeze-dried. Can't bring a microwave into space because it interferes with everything. I
would say so.
So to cook our food, we just have a needle that goes into the package, insert about 100 milliliters of hot water, then let it float for 3 to 5 minutes.
Wow. And then let it float. I love that. Can you tell me about this glove?
Absolutely. On this space flight, Jeff Williams will actually be doing 2 spacewalks on this flight. It'll be his 3rd and 4th space flight. The astronauts have 2 different gloves. The interior glove is sort of like a garden glove, and it has all of these cords that sort of look like what you would call shoelaces, and they serve the same purpose. You can actually cinch down or release it to have a little bit more play. Then we have this big, almost winter type glove that goes over the top. And the big glove is designed to be able to allow you to do small manipulative tasks in space. And these lines basically prevent you from losing your tools in space.
Wow. Well, to learn more about Spaceport Sheboygan, just head to TMJ4.com. Brian Ewenson, thank you so much for waking up with us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.